My girlfriend confessed, "I only used you to make my ex jealous." I replied, "Did it work?" Then I called her ex and told him his plan to pay me to date her had worked perfectly. She was left frantically trying to figure out who was playing who. I'm 28 male, a graphic designer. Pretty quiet life, good job, nice apartment. For the last 8 months, I thought I had a great girlfriend, Jennifer, 26. She was vibrant, funny, the kind of person who fills a room. We met through a mutual friend, or so I thought. The relationship was intense, fast. Looking back, that should have been the first red flag. We were cooking dinner at my place 2 nights ago, just a regular Tuesday. I'd made pasta, we opened a bottle of wine. It was comfortable, domestic. Then she got a text message. She smiled at her phone, a genuine, unguarded smile I hadn't seen directed at me in a while. "That was Michael," she said, her voice light. Michael, 29, is her ex, the one she always told me was a toxic, manipulative nightmare. The one she was supposedly thrilled to be away from. I kept my face neutral, just stirred the carbonara. "Oh yeah? What's he up to?" I asked. She took a sip of wine, looking at me over the rim of the glass with a weird, triumphant glint in her eye. "He wants me back. He saw how happy we are, how well I've been doing. He finally gets what he lost." I stopped stirring. "And how do you feel about that?" This was it, the moment. She put her glass down and got this pitying look on her face. It was rehearsed. "Look, David, you're a great guy. A really, really great guy. You're stable, you're kind, you're everything a woman is supposed to want. But," I prompted, my heart starting to feel like a cold, heavy stone in my chest. "But he's Michael," she said with a shrug, as if that explained everything. Then came the dagger. She leaned forward, almost conspiratorially. "Honestly, this whole thing with us, I just needed to show him. I needed him to see me with someone good, someone better, to make him realize he messed up. I only used you to make him jealous." She sat back, expecting, I don't know, a scene, tears, yelling. I just looked at her. The sauce was starting to stick to the pan. I turned the heat off. I took a deep breath, letting the silence hang there for a second too long. All the little things clicked into place. Her chance encounters with him at coffee shops, the way she'd tag me in photos and always make sure her account was public, the questions about my salary early on. It wasn't love, it was a marketing campaign. I met her gaze. My voice was eerily calm. "Did it work?" Jennifer blinked, thrown off script. "What?" "Did it work?" I repeated, a little louder. "Making him jealous. You went through all this trouble, 8 months of my life, of your life. Did you get the result you wanted?" Yes, she stammered, a little less confident now. "He's begging me to come back. He said he'll do anything." "Good," I said, pulling out my phone. My hands were perfectly steady. "I'm glad the project was a success. I found Michael's number in my contacts. She'd given it to me months ago, just in case of an emergency." The real emergency, it turns out, was her. Her eyes widened in panic. "What are you doing? Who are you calling?" I hit the dial button and put it on speakerphone. It rang once, twice. "Hello?" Michael's slick voice came through the speaker. "Hey, Michael, it's David," I said conversationally. Jennifer was now standing up, frantically shaking her head, mouthing no, no, no. "David? Why are you calling me?" There was an edge of panic in his voice too. "Just calling to close out our account," I said brightly. "Your plan to pay me to date Jennifer worked perfectly. She just confirmed that you're jealous and you want her back. So the final installment of my fee is now due. You can send the last $2,500 whenever you're ready. No rush." Dead silence on the other end. Jennifer was staring at my phone, then at me, then back at the phone. Her face was a mask of pure, unadulterated confusion. It was like her entire world had just been hit by a blue screen of death. What is he talking about?" Michael's voice was a choked whisper. "I think you know," I said. "Anyway, project complete. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. I'll be sending Jennifer over in a bit. You guys have a lot to talk about." I hung up. I turned to Jennifer. She looked like a ghost. He paid you? To date me?" $5,000, I confirmed. Billed as freelance marketing and brand association consulting. 2 installments. The first one cleared when we made it official on social media. The second was due upon successful reacquisition of Target's interest, which you so kindly confirmed tonight. I've never seen a human being look so completely broken. Her manipulative little scheme wasn't her own. She was a pawn in his. And the guy she thought she was playing? He was on the payroll. She was frantically trying to figure out who was playing who, and the answer was, everyone was playing her. "Get your things," I said, my voice flat. "All of them. I want you out of my apartment in the next 30 minutes. She just stood there, speechless. The smell of cooling carbonara filled the air. This is far from over. I know them. The entitlement is going to bubble up once the shock wears off. They're going to come for me. Let them. I've got my invoices. Update 1. Well, it's been a fun few days. Thanks for all the comments. It's weirdly validating to know I'm not crazy. A lot of you asked for details on the payment, the logistics, and what happened after she left. So here we go. The aftermath of the call. Jennifer did not pack in 30 minutes. She cycled through bargaining. "We can fix this. I choose you." Anger. "You're a monster." And finally, a full-on sobbing breakdown. The most telling moment was when she tried to take a high-end coffee machine I'd bought a month ago. "I picked this out. It's basically mine. I just unplugged it and put it back on the counter. The entitlement is real." She left, slamming the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. The money trail, the corrected version. To answer the most common question, how did this work financially? Michael is a marketing manager. I'm a freelance graphic designer. We had a brief, legitimate professional history. He emailed me with a weird freelance proposal, and we met. He laid out his genius plan to hire a good, stable guy to Jennifer to make her miss his excitement. He offered $5,000. I was insulted and intrigued, so I drew up a cold corporate contract for consulting services to see if he'd actually sign it. He did. Now, for the key part, the part that's become a major point of contention, her apartment. 3 months ago, she wanted to move closer to me. This was part of Michael's plan. He wanted her to feel like things with me were getting serious. But he knew she couldn't afford the deposit and first month's rent on the place she wanted. He didn't want to give her the money directly. That would be suspicious. So he transferred $1,850 to my account with the memo, "Project Expense Logistics." Then, following his explicit instructions, I transferred the exact same amount to Jennifer's account the next day. I was a pass-through, a financial middleman. To her, it looked like a generous, relationship-defining gift from me. To me, it was just another one of Michael's manipulative transactions. I have the bank records for both transfers, timestamped 24 hours apart. This is important. The entitlement escalates. I didn't hear from them for 36 hours. Then, the coordinated attack began. Jennifer texted, demanding her stuff from my apartment, lamps and rugs I had bought years before she met me. She claimed she was owed them for the humiliation. I told her that wasn't happening. Then Michael emailed me, threatening legal action to recoup his initial $2,500 payment and threatening to slander me in our professional network. He claimed I sabotaged the project. They thought they could bully me. They forgot I was the one holding all the documentation for their little scheme. I replied to Jennifer's text about the furniture with a single attachment, a PDF invoice for $1,850. The memo line read, "Urgent, recall of funds transferred under false pretenses." I added a note, "Jennifer, the money for your deposit was never mine to give. It was provided by Michael as part of our arrangement. As the arrangement is now void, you are required to return the funds. Let me know if you'd prefer I send your contact information to him so he can collect it directly." I replied to Michael's email with a simple message. "The final payment is due by Friday at 5 p.m. Furthermore, you need to instruct Jennifer to return the $1,850 project expense funds immediately. If these items are not resolved, I will assume our contract is in default, and I will take the necessary steps to protect my professional reputation and collect all outstanding fees and funds. I've put them in a box together. She has money that he wants back, and he owes me money. Let them fight it out." Update 2. The past 2 weeks have been a masterclass in dirty tricks. Michael missed his deadline. Instead, I got a cheap cease and desist letter. Simultaneously, Jennifer and Michael launched a smear campaign, telling mutual friends I was an abusive, extortionist ex. One of our mutuals, a guy named Robert, called me to tell me I was a piece of work. They were trying to control the narrative. This was the escalation Michael threatened. It was no longer about the money. It was about my name. So I initiated my own project, full disclosure. My revenge needed to be precise and built entirely on their own actions. Step 1. The legal paper trail. First, Jennifer's non-payment of the $850. She sent me a long, rambling text about how the money was a gift and she was the real victim here. I didn't argue. I spent $50 in an hour online filing a claim in small claims court. The claim wasn't for a personal loan, but for the recovery of funds passed to a third party as part of a nullified business contract. I attached the record of Michael's transfer to me and my subsequent transfer to her. This made her a direct financial party to their scheme. She'll be served papers soon. Step 2. The corporate takedown. Michael wanted to play business, so I gave him business. I spent a weekend on it. My first draft of the email I wanted to send was pure anger. I typed it all out, read it back, and realized it made me sound unhinged. I deleted it, went for a long walk to clear my head, and came back with a new strategy. Don't be emotional, be corporate. I created a 15-page professional-grade PDF presentation, just like one I'd make for a real client. The cover, project overview, the Rekindle Initiative, a case study in personal brand relaunch and target re-engagement. I laid it out with corporate jargon, detailing the scope, KPIs, and deliverables. I included screenshots of their texts, redacted as metric analysis, and a copy of the signed contract. The final page detailed his payment default and unprofessional conduct, stating the document was created to clarify the project's nature in light of potential reputational damage. It was cold, clinical, and undeniable. Step 3. The deployment. I was a sniper, not a machine gunner. I sent it to 3 key people: Michael's boss, the head of HR at his company, and a notoriously connected industry recruiter. The email was polite and professional, framed as a need to clear up a misunderstanding regarding a freelance project with Michael. The fallout was almost immediate. The recruiter, seeing the tea, discreetly shared the PDF to warn others. It ripped through our professional network. The narrative they tried to build crumbled in less than a day. Robert called me back to apologize. Small claims court confirmed Jennifer was served yesterday. At Michael's apartment, the fallout is just beginning. Final update. It's over. The dust has settled. This will be my final update. Michael's company conducted an internal investigation. Because he'd used his work email in early communications and discussed leveraging his professional status, it was a clear ethics violation. He was fired about 3 weeks ago for gross misconduct. Now here's the corrected, realistic part. The company did not pay me his fee. Their legal team's only goal was to cut him loose and protect the company. My business with Michael was personal. Once he was fired and his reputation was in tatters, he went silent. The final $2,500 was still outstanding. I could have sued, but that would be messy in public. I chose leverage instead. I sent one last email to Michael's personal address. Subject: Final invoice in Project Archive. Michael, my final invoice for $2,500 remains unpaid. To officially close the file on the Rekindle Initiative, this payment must be made. Once payment is received, the project archive, including all raw materials and recordings, such as the audio file from our initial coffee shop meeting, will be permanently deleted. I'd hate for any of that to get mixed up in the ongoing discussion about your departure from company name. Please remit payment within 48 hours. He thought I was bluffing about the recording. I wasn't. I had recorded our initial meeting on my phone for my own protection. He paid. The full $2,500 hit my account the next day. No note, just a desperate act of self-preservation from a man with nothing left to lose. The humiliation of Jennifer. The small claims court date was set. The case study had also made its way through her social circles, framing her not as a player, but as a pawn who was financially tied to the scheme. The humiliation was total. She and Michael had an explosive breakup. She appeared at my door one night, a complete mess. Begging me to drop the case, she said Michael had kicked her out and she had no money. I looked at her, and for a second I felt a pang of something like pity. But I remembered her casual cruelty, the rehearsed speech, the entitlement, natural consequences. The money was never mine, Jennifer, I told her through the door. It was his. You took his money under the pretense of my affection. The court will order you to pay it back. It's cleaner for you if you just do it now. She eventually got the money from her ashamed parents. Once it was in my account, I transferred it back to Michael with the memo, return of project expense funds. I then canceled the court case. My involvement was done. I was just the middleman, seeing the transaction through to its bitter end. Moving forward. So that's it. I got my fee, the fraudulent funds were returned, his career is over, her social life is a crater. They got exactly what they deserved. A direct result of their own actions. And me? I don't feel triumphant. I just feel tired. It was a draining, ugly, and consuming affair. I exposed their rottenness, but I had to wallow in it to do so. I took the $5,000 fee and booked a long trip. Somewhere quiet. I've reconnected with the few friends who mattered, who waited to hear my side. I learned a hard lesson. They weren't master villains. They were just two insecure people who thought they were clever enough to play with a person's life. They learned they weren't. And I learned that sometimes the most effective justice isn't about grand fantasies. It's about calmly, methodically, and legally helping people drown in the consequences of their own choices.